Welcome to Wujud. Wujud in English and in Arabic it means existence. It indicates the Palestinian Arab presence in the Holy City, despite all the talk that this city is strictly for other than the Palestinians. It's for all. It's for Christians, Muslims, and Jews. The building itself is very precious. Its location is very sensitive, centrally located, because it lies in the midst of four quarters in the old city of Jerusalem. Besides, it overlooks one of the two dry pools of Jerusalem. The first dry pool is in Mamilla, West Jerusalem. And this is what the Israelis call the pool of Hezekiah, and we as Christians, we call it the pool of the bath of the patriarchs, because in the old days, the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate had its headquarters in the Christian quarter. There were no souvenir shops like they are today, and the patriarchs used to have their main quarters, especially for their private use and the bath that they had drawn their waters from within the pool. The place is very significant and very important for Christians, Muslims, and Copts particularly. One of our main goals in order to generate income for women is to have something like a small restaurant. We erected this kind of something like a tent that we entertain and invite people to have their lunches or their dinners here. Because this is a structure, it's a fixture, the municipality of Jerusalem asked us to knock it down, but we didn't, because they understood that this allows some kind of beauty to the old city of Jerusalem. So because of the architecture, which is very unique, and secondly, because tourists are told that there is nothing in the old city except the holy places, but actually there's a lot of beauty in the old city of Jerusalem other than the holy sites. And tourists oftentimes are heard saying that the area is not that clean. We wanted something like an oasis inside the old city of Jerusalem, where tourists can come and enjoy the beauty of the life and living of the Palestinians, whether Christians or Muslims. Right here is a window, but this is not an ordinary window. It's one of the very few mashrabiyas, or special windows that were built during the Turkish times to allow women to look at the outside world, and nobody could see them if the screens were closed. This is the logo or the symbol of Wujud. One of the most important trees that has deep roots is the olive tree. So the existence of the people in the city had been for a very long time, exactly as old as the olive tree. Right here, if you look at the tiles, these are very old, over 650 years old. And this is the yard where families who used to have only one room in the building, each family had got one room right after 1948. And the women particularly used to meet and prepare for lunches or dinners right here in this yard. This is the multipurpose room that we're talking about, and I would like you to see the above the windows. This is very specifically done by the Mamluks in the old days, and this room is in fact serving as sometimes dining room when tourists and groups come here for lunches or dinners, or is used for cultural events. So the specialty of this room is that it overlooks the Christian quarter of Jerusalem, where the souvenir shops are. And we went through lots of problems with regards to the floor in this room, that which infrastructure has been taken away when the businessmen expanded at the expense of the place. Okay, this is an area which represents the way the Palestinian families used to live. I'd like to draw your attention that in the old days there has not been enough water or good transportation means. This is why the families used to dry their veggies and their fruits from summer to winter time, and they did not have bathtubs or special bathrooms where they had their baths, so they used to use a basin to do that. In addition to washing faces and the kitchen area, they had special basins that had taps, and they used to wash their faces, and the dirty water was used for cleaning the floors. So the women were very productive in the past, more than we are today. We're consumers and not producers. Now you are in the what we call small museum, which represents Palestinian life in the 18th, 19th, and the beginning of the 20th century. At the back, you see all these pots and fans and all of that, and this is what was used in most of the Palestinian homes. We also have items that are made of pottery, copper, basketry, and wood was predominant in every Palestinian home. But this is just for the modern way of livelihood in the past. More expensive items were purchased by well-off families that used to import, as I mentioned before, from Syria. So right here, we again note that men used to spend their time playing cards or chess or smoking, while women were producing things and then later on selling them in the marketplace. All right, this is the musical area. As you see, the oud was very much used by Palestinian men and women even, and the harp. And one of the things that was introduced into our music is what the Turkish brought into the country. The saz is right here, the drums, and as you can see, the harmonica and the accordion were also used in our music. And these two gentlemen are men from the way the tradition men used to wear in the past days, the umbaz, as we call it, the jacket, and then the fezzes. Fezzes is also a Turkish influence on the outfits of our men, and the company or the people that used to make the fezzes was known as Aqruq family, and they presented us with their press. The furniture that was brought in here, actually it was bought, and some minor things were donated. Again, they refer to the 18th century, 19th, and the 20th century. But one of the things that I'd like to highlight is, in fact, the holy books of the three religions, the New Testament, the Bible, and the Quran and the Torah. And again, I say that the I mentioned that earlier, that these books for the holy religions, for the faiths, draw the people together. They do not separate nor divide, and they do not differentiate between humanity. This is what religion is all about. Okay, and also here we have all the outfits of افتحها. Okay. Okay, this closet has all the traditional costumes that are worn in the Palestinian society, in the Palestinian land. And the one I'm holding actually is one that was worn in Jerusalem, the outskirts of Jerusalem. The people inside the city did not wear the traditional costumes. They were influenced by whatever the people who came to war. So they were more or less Western clothing. But on the villages and in the villages, they had these traditional costumes. I want to indicate one of the dresses that was donated by an Armenian family. This is an Armenian engagement dress made of velvet. That velvet is no more in existence because it is very special. And the women made everything, including the lace. And today, no women make the lace, it's ready-made. So this is a specialty of the past. And the past has a lot of things that we need to treasure.